A mother taught her daughter never to trust a man, to control love before it controls you. But in trying to protect her, she unknowingly planted a curse. Now the past is repeating itself, and this time it could destroy them both. The question is, will the cycle ever break, or will history win again? Watch till the end. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to get the latest Nigerian movies from us. Today, we're talking about a captivating new Nigerian movie that goes beyond just entertainment. It's packed with meaningful lessons you won't want to miss, so let's get into it. The movie begins with a young lady named Lily, who shows up at her boyfriend Hanks's house unexpectedly. Hanks is surprised by her visit, but Lily explains that she missed him and wanted to spend time with him before he leaves for work. Hanks is left speechless as Lily showers him with affection and becomes emotionally clingy. The next morning, Hanks is getting ready to leave for work, but Lily doesn't want him to go. She wants them to spend more quality time together, even though Hanks has already told her about a crisis at work that will keep him extremely busy. Ignoring his concerns, Lily tries to use emotional tactics to make him stay, but it doesn't work. Later that day, when Lily returns home, her friend Deborah scolds her for going to her boyfriend's house uninvited. Deborah advises her to be more thoughtful and not jeopardize her relationship with such behavior. However, Lily brushes off the advice and makes a statement that shocks Deborah. That same evening, Hanks comes home with his friend and work colleague, Bobby. Bobby suggests that Hanks consider starting a side hustle because their boss is laying off staff. Despite the suggestion, Hanks refuses due to his integrity. The two friends continue discussing matters concerning their company. Meanwhile, Lily has been trying to call Hanks, but he isn't answering. While Hanks and Bobby are still deep in their work-related conversation, Lily suddenly arrives and interrupts them. Hanks takes her to his room and begins scolding her for the interruption. This leads to an argument as they exchange harsh words. Eventually, Lily leaves in anger after Hanks tells her that she's distracting him. Back in the living room, Hanks insists that he doesn't want to talk about his relationship issues and resumes the conversation with Bobby about work. Meanwhile, Deborah tries to talk some sense into Lily, who has been comparing her relationship to others. Deborah points out that Lily is being selfish and reminds her of all the efforts Hanks makes to see her, including the recent note about the situation at his company. However, Lily refuses to listen and continues to demand things go her way. Later that night, Lily calls Hanks and tells him how sad she feels because they didn't get to spend time together. Hanks explains how busy he is and that fulfilling her request isn't possible. She expresses her love for him, and though he returns the sentiment, he is clearly frustrated and ends the call. Now guys, what kind of love do you call this? How long do you think this relationship can last? From your point of view, could you tolerate something like this? Share your thoughts as we continue to see how it all turns out. The next morning, Bobby visits Hanks, who didn't sleep well. Hanks tells him that a colleague sent him an email that felt aggressive. As they plan out their strategy for the day, they agree on what needs to be done and head out. On the other hand, Lily keeps trying to call Hanks, but he still doesn't answer. Deborah stops by to check on her, but Lily responds harshly and storms off. A few hours later, Hanks and Bobby return from work. Hanks looks completely worn out. Bobby tells him that their company chairman wants to lay off 2 people from their department due to lack of funds. He got this information from one of the chairman's close executives. Hanks begins to connect the dots and realizes why his colleague had acted cold toward him earlier. Determined to save his job, he insists on getting to work, even though Bobby advises him to rest. Bobby goes to get them something to eat. Meanwhile, Lily keeps calling with no response. She then calls Bobby, who lies and tells her that Hanks is fast asleep and can't be woken up. Lily keeps pressing to speak with Hanks, but Bobby refuses and ends the call. Afterward, Hanks wakes up. Bobby suggests he relax and leaves the house. Hanks struggles to his room and lies down to rest. The next morning, Lily comes over and starts nagging Hanks for not answering her calls. Hanks explains that he hasn't seen his phone since he got home the previous day. However, Lily doesn't believe him and starts searching his house, convinced he was with another woman. Hanks steps outside, finds his phone in his car and sees many missed calls and messages. He confronts Lily about her actions, expressing his frustration and saying he's tired of constantly arguing. When he tries to go to his room, she blocks his way, professes her love again, and they share a moment of intimacy. Later, Deborah once again talks to Lily about her behavior, warning her that she might lose the relationship if she doesn't change. Lily, however, ignores her and goes upstairs. Later that day, as Hanks is about to leave for work, he receives a call informing him that he and a colleague are now in direct competition for their department roles, just like Bobby had warned earlier. He is told not to bother coming to the office, but to complete a task from home as soon as possible. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Hanks starts working immediately, determined to secure his job. Lily kept calling Hanks, but he wasn't answering her calls. After Hanks finished a phone conversation with one of his colleagues at the office, he ended the call. But Lily, who had called just after, overheard the name Angela and immediately began to nag, demanding to know who Angela was. Hanks tried to explain that it was work-related and that he was at risk of losing his job, but Lily didn't seem to care. Frustrated, he raised his voice at her and ended the call. Shortly after, Bobby returned and shared some updates about their office. Things were not looking good, and one of their colleagues had gone to meet a client who insisted on continuing to work with that colleague instead of with them. Hanks, stressed but determined, began to prepare for a Zoom meeting while Bobby went to get something to eat. Meanwhile, Lily was supposed to go out with Deborah to restock the house, but she insisted on going alone and told Deborah she would meet her there later. While Hanks and Bobby were in a serious meeting with their boss, Lily suddenly arrived and interrupted the session. Hanks excused himself, took Lily to his room, and confronted her about her actions. When she still refused to understand the pressure he was under, he asked for space and told her not to contact him until further notice. He also collected the spare key to his house from her. Both of them left the confrontation angry and upset. That same day, Lily returned home to find Jeremy, a longtime friend who had returned 2 weeks earlier and gotten her address from her mother. She welcomed him and introduced him to Deborah. As they sat and caught up, they talked about many things, and Jeremy expressed his happiness that Lily was still single. He was too. They enjoyed the time together and planned to meet again before he left. On the other side, Hanks told Bobby everything that had happened between him and Lily. Bobby was glad that Hanks now had the space he needed to focus on his work. Hanks then went to get some drinks as he had completed his work perfectly, and the two friends enjoyed some time together. Later that day, Lily's mother called and advised her daughter to take Jeremy seriously, saying she saw potential in him. Lily and Jeremy were already enjoying spending time together. Now, guys, what's about to happen next will amaze you. You'll begin to see why love sometimes isn't fair. Hours later, Lily borrowed Deborah's phone to make a call. Around the same time, Hanks was expecting a call from Angela regarding a conversation he had earlier with Bobby. When the phone rang without a name showing, he picked it up, only to hear Lily on the other end. He reminded her of what he had said previously and ended the call angrily. Right after that, he hastily sent an email to his boss. Later that night, Bobby called Hanks and asked him to double-check the email he had sent. To their horror, Hanks had mistakenly sent it to a colleague in the same department instead of to his boss. Hanks quickly called that colleague and pleaded with him to delete the file, which the colleague promised to do. The next day, Hanks was angry and emotionally overwhelmed. He tried to explain the email mix-up to his boss, but the boss didn't give him a chance to explain, and instead fired him on the spot. Everything Hanks had worked for was suddenly gone. Bobby tried to console him. That same day, Jeremy came over to see Lily and opened up about his feelings. Although they had dated when they were younger, he now wanted to be with her again. Lily agreed, and the two became official. Deborah, who witnessed the whole thing, questioned Lily's decision. But Lily insisted that since Hanks had broken up with her, she had moved on and was free to do what she wanted. Deborah couldn't stop her. So now, guys, what do you think about Lily? Do you believe she truly loved Hanks like she claimed? Or was she just thinking about herself? Please share your thoughts. And will Hanks move on just like that? Let's find out. That night, Hanks was deep in thought, overwhelmed and angry. He wondered if he was the one responsible for everything that had happened. The next morning, Bobby came by again to try and console him. Days later, Hanks went to Lily's house only to see her leaving with another man. He watched them drive off together. Hanks waited patiently for Lily to return. Deborah, feeling uneasy, tried to contact Lily. Not long after, Lily came back, and Hanks confronted her emotionally, insisting they had never officially broken up. Jeremy was stunned. Hanks tried to introduce himself to Jeremy, then took Lily into her room, trying to get close to her, but she resisted. Despite this, Hanks kept expressing his love for her, just as she used to do with him. Lily later explained everything to Jeremy, who didn't know what to believe or how to react to the situation. Seeing another man claim to be in love with his new girlfriend left him confused. So Jeremy left. Lily then confronted Hanks, who warned her to stay away from Jeremy and even threatened violence if they stayed together. Hanks once again declared his love for her, just as she had previously done with him. That same midnight, Hanks called Lily again, just to hear her voice so he could sleep. But Lily, who was tired, ended the call. When he tried calling again because she hadn't responded to his declaration of love, she didn't pick up. Guys, this situation reflects the old saying, do unto others what you want to be done to you. So now the question is, will Hanks give up on his love for Lily? Let's find out. Weeks later, Lily refused to answer any of Hanks' repeated calls. She said she was tired of being stalked by him. Deborah admitted she had never seen Hanks behave so desperately as the situation continued to escalate. The next day, Bobby came to see Hanks, who was just heading out. He asked Hanks how he was doing, encouraged him, and shared that their boss was still very angry, especially since a client had reached out to Hanks even after he was fired. After their brief conversation, Bobby left. Later that day, Hanks went to see Lily, still holding on to love for her. However, he began hovering around her and pestering her, which upset Lily. She told him she wasn't interested anymore. He followed her into her room, where she became frustrated and began to cry. Hanks raised his voice, saying he had given her everything she ever wanted. Once he felt satisfied expressing himself, he walked out. Deborah tried to speak with him, but he ignored her and left. Deborah then comforted Lily, who was clearly shaken by Hanks' behavior. It was obvious to her that Hanks was deeply angry. As they talked about what could have gone wrong, Deborah decided to reach out to Bobby to get a clearer understanding of what was happening. The following day, Lily and Deborah went to see Hanks. Lily apologized, admitting that she had caused him to lose his job. Hanks laughed bitterly and explained everything he had gone through during their relationship. He told her how selfish she had been and how much it hurt him. After expressing all his emotions, he told them to leave and walked away without saying anything further. Later that day, Lily was at home thinking about everything. Her mother called and asked why she wasn't making her man feel special the way her sister did. She mentioned that the family Lily's sister had joined through marriage seemed to make her happy. Lily's mom told her that men couldn't be trusted, and that if Lily couldn't find a way to control her man, that was her own problem. Then she ended the call. This moment revealed the root of Lily's controlling behavior. She had been following in her mother's footsteps. It also highlights the harmful effects that come from being raised by separated parents. Lily sat with Deborah and blamed herself for everything she had caused Hanks. She opened up about how her mother had always wanted to get revenge on men because of the heartbreak she suffered from Lily's father. Lily said she was tired of following her mother's advice. Deborah was surprised by Lily's confession, especially since Lily had always been about expressing love through her love language. Still, Deborah was happy Lily had come to this realization. She advised Lily to do something kind for Hanks to show she cared. As for Jeremy, Lily's new boyfriend, she promised to do something about that situation as well. The two friends shared a moment of support and encouragement. One day, while Bobby and Hanks were spending time together, Bobby apologized to Hanks for telling Lily what had been going on. Hanks had never wanted her to know. To Bobby's surprise, Hanks admitted that he still loved Lily despite everything she had done. While they were talking, Lily arrived and went straight to the kitchen. She had come with good intentions, wanting to take the responsibility of food shopping off Hank's shoulders to make things easier for him. But Hanks, who hadn't asked for any of it, told her to leave and to throw away whatever she brought. She apologized again, but he walked out. Another day, Jeremy came to see Lily. He was happy that her ex Hanks was out of the picture. But Lily told him that she was now a changed person. She appreciated everything he had done to make her feel loved, but she admitted she had been controlling. She made it clear that their relationship could not continue. Jeremy understood her reasons and quietly left, knowing there was nothing more to say. Weeks later, Lily was reading a book when Deborah came in and playfully took the book from her, teasing her about how consistent she had been in trying to change. Just then, Hanks arrived. He told Lily about the new company he had started. When he asked about Jeremy and learned that they were no longer together, he shared his feelings with her. He expressed his love again and talked about putting new boundaries and structures in place for their relationship. Lily agreed, and they decided to rekindle their love. Deborah was happy for them, and they all enjoyed the moment together. This story teaches us valuable lessons. Always be mindful of how we treat others, especially those we love. Be genuinely concerned about your partner's well-being. Don't lose someone valuable because of selfish behavior, and never be the cause of someone else's downfall. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more interesting updates on the latest Nigerian movies. See you next time.